In this class, we learn another important chapter on AutoCAD. This chapter was introduced somewhere in AutoCAD 10 from 2010. Earlier it was not there. And here what we are going to do is learn about the overview, constraint, geometrical constraints, and dimension constraint, auto constraint, constraint setting, create and edit a few parametric drawings. See, as I inform you, it is introduced in 2010, AutoCAD 10. So here what we are going to do, we are adding some intelligence to the drawings, that is the lines or any other objects. Object is combination of so many lines to form a plane figure or a complicated drawing. That entire thing is called an object, and we are adding some intelligence to that, and that is how we are going to create a flexibility. So straight away I will open the AutoCAD and start explaining what is it by giving a demo. Otherwise it is difficult to understand the subject without giving a demo. Now there is one menu called parametric. Here is that menu. Geometrical constraint, the pop-up menus are geometrical constraint, auto constraint, constraint bar, dimensional constraint, dynamic constraint, delete constraint, parameter, manager, and constraint setting. This, if I click on this, there is a screen open. It has, I'll start from geometrical. You don't worry about this now at present. In for geometrical constraint, perpendicular, horizontal, tangent, collinear, symmetrical, coincident, etc. And these are I have checked it. Let it be as it is. I will explain you further. And this is geometrical dimensional constraint. It's a dimension constraint, expression, and name. And this is an auto constraint. Either we can select all or we can clear all. Now, each one of them, if I keep on explaining, it will create more confusion because some of them is difficult to understand without a practical example. Except the dimension constraint, which is straightforward, and geometrical constraint and auto constraint together is a little bit difficult to understand by definitions and all that, and we straight away explain by a demo. Now I will close this window. I will leave them as it is. Okay. Now suppose we draw a line. See, I will draw a line like this, an inclined line. So this line, it is flexible. I can move the line, I can rotate the line. I can move, I can rotate. From here I can keep, rotate. So whatever I want, I can do it. Suppose I apply one constraint called fix. See, geometrical constraint. We will come to dimensional constraint later on. Geometrical constraints are the relation between the various objects in a drawing or various lines or curves in a drawing. So here it is coincident, perpendicular, parallel, tangent, horizontal, vertical, collinear, concentric, smooth, symmetric, equal, fixed. There are totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 constraints are there. Now suppose I apply a fixed constraint. That is, click on fix. How to apply, that is the meaning. Click on here. So that means the sign indicates this fixed point, it indicates long. That means this point, this line, can we move it? Let us see. We cannot move it. Even though I give a command to move, It cannot be moved, but it can be rotated. Suppose I give a command rotate, so we can rotate the line. On which point? We can't rotate on this point. It won't. So only on this point we can rotate. Which point we can see? This we can rotate. So that means this point is fixed. This point cannot change its position. So the point, since we applied a constraint called fix, the point is fixed. It cannot be moved. But the point at the end of the line is fixed. It cannot move. It has to stay in the same position, but we can rotate the line. So see. So it will be fixed in the same position. So this is called fixed constraint. Now see, you see a line there, a green mark, like a rectangle and with a flag and all that. That indicates that a constraint is applied to the line. The constraint we have applied is fixed. This is a symbol. The symbol, if you don't want to show the symbol, you can hide it. Click here, hide. You have to select and hide the symbol. Possibly, I think we have to remove the lock. Anyway, I will show you. Anyway, let it be. I will show you later on. And one more point here is delete the constraint. If you want to delete the constraint, you select and click on this. The constraint is, it can be deleted also. This constraint is deleted. See. So now we can move the line, and also we can rotate the line at any point, from any point. So this is up. So this is called fixed constraint. Suppose I want to keep the line horizontal. Then let us see whether it is possible or not. You apply horizontal constraint. Here is a constraint. Apply horizontal constraint to this line. Say it became horizontal. And here, the horizontal symbol is not shown. I will come to that, how it shows. And here once again, it shows constraint is applied. See, except, see here, I will come to constraint setting. Here you see, we have clicked fix, so the symbol was shown to us. If I click this and horizontal, where is that? This symbol is shown here. Okay? Or the otherwise it will be, suppose I don't want to show. Since I have clicked horizontal, here I have clicked horizontal, the horizontal symbol is shown. We can always hide this by either selecting hide command. Where is it? Possibly, or we have to set it in some other place. So what we do is hiding, we can do it the other way from the bar here. See here, only display constraint bars for the objects. If I show the constraint, if you remove it, possibly it will be hidden. I click it, it is hidden. Okay. Constraint is there. See, you cannot rotate this. See, case. Relax the constraint. Suppose I want to try to rotate this line by symbol. I will show you once again. I want to rotate. Like this. You want to rotate on this point, it can relax the constraint. Some constraint may be removed or change the value or maintain the constraint. So if you relax the constraint, that is you are removing the constraint, but the constraint is hidden and it is not shown, but earlier it showed you the constraint. Since it is hidden, it is not shown, but constraint is applied. But symbol applies, it shows you the constraint is applied. So we cannot rotate. Suppose you want to rotate, but move, let us see whether we can move it. Yes. We can move vertically up, but line remains horizontal. It will not change its status, horizontal status. Rotate you cannot do. Suppose I click rotate at this point, it shows. Then relax the constraint means the constraint will be removed. Now it can be rotated. If you do not relax the constraint, you cannot rotate it. I will show you once again. So maintain the constraint, you cannot rotate, it will just move. That's all. So that is how horizontal constraint is applied. And you can also show the constraint whenever you see, whenever you don't want, you need not show the horizontal constraint. We have just unshown, and possibly we have shown here constraint show. Here we click it, you may get it to show. So here possibly we can check. Let's see. You can see it. Once you click on that, you can see it. Only thing is we have to manipulate here. Constraint setting you manipulate. Only display constraint bar for objects from the current plane. Show constraint bar after applying the constraint selector. Show constraint bars when object is selected. So since we have deleted the sign, it is not seen, but when you click on the object, it shows the constraint. I will draw another line. Let us see what is going to happen. Here also, same thing. But this constraint, whether we have applied or not, we can check it. It can rotate. So that is, we have not applied the constraint. So to apply the constraint, what you have to do is click here, click horizontal, click constraint is applied. Because the setting is here, we have not clicked this, so hence it is not applied. If you click it, it will be applied automatically. So it is applied. Now you want to close this, you can close this. Okay. And whether we show it, no. We have just closed this. Okay. Suppose you want to see the thing, we can click here. Possibly you will be able to see it. Show all possibly. It shows it's applied. Since we have deleted that, we can't see it. Now we can see. It is not horizontal, so no constraint is applied. But constraint we have to apply by manually. See here it is showing. Don't want to show, it has shown. Click it. We select, possibly it will show it. See. Similarly, here we have removed it, but when you select, it will show. So initially when applied, the constraint will be shown, and afterwards you can delete, because it may confuse you while doing other drawings. So you can delete it, but if you want to see whether constraint is there, it indicates, this green mark indicates there is a constraint for the wall, and if you click on this, select it, then it shows what type of constraint is there. Okay, this is horizontal constraint. Suppose we want to apply a vertical constraint. Suppose we draw a line vertically. See, let us see. we have, this is another line. I will erase all these things. Erase all these things. I will draw one more line like this, inclined line, and let us see whether we can apply vertical. Suppose you want to make this vertical, it will become vertical. The constraint, so the line become vertical. Okay, this is how a vertical constraint is applied here. Now, we'll see here the settings. Once you set it, you need not see here. I have not clicked it here. That is why vertical constraint is not shown. Horizontal constraint and fixed, both of them are shown because I clicked it. So I click it here, positive, and you can see it. See, you have seen. You can close this now. And when you click on this, you can see it. So this is how we can do. See, I will go to once again that menu bar, constraint setting. See here, horizontal, vertical, fixed. These three I have shown you. The symbol can be shown in the drawing, the constraint symbol. So if you have not clicked these things, the constraints are not shown. So what we do is we select all. So all constraints, 12 constraints can be shown on the drawing when applied. Okay. Suppose I draw a line like this. So this is not vertical. If you want to apply a vertical constraint, what we have to do is click here, geometrical constraint, select, it has become vertical, and symbol is also shown. You don't want, you can close it as well. And when you click it, you can see it once again. See. So only thing is the settings will be more confused. So you keep on drawing and practicing, yourself will know when it is to be deleted, the constraint will be seen, and when it is not seen. All those things you get into your mind registered well. Now, there are totally, I have shown you coincident, perpendicular, parallel, horizontal, vertical. We have seen horizontal, vertical, and other things we will see. Coincident. Coincident means two lines joining together. One line, another line I will draw from here. This constraint is applied here. This is a coincident constraint because we have clicked it and it has applied. Some of the constraints are automatically applied because we have these two lines are joined, and some constraints are there. These are the constraints which can be applied automatically. I will show you. See, all these are constraints which can be applied automatically. Okay. Not see here we have applied. It shows it is applied. If you want to remove this, what you have to do is delete the constraint. Suppose you don't want that constraint to be there. Delete the constraint. Select the line. This constraint is removed. Now you can rotate. I will just go back once again. It is applied constraint. Now I will go back once again and draw another line. See, the constraint is applied automatically. Some of the constraints coincident or a few of the constraints is mentioned there in the auto constraint. They are applied automatically. So suppose, see, what is the meaning of applying automatically? This line will always be joined. They will not, even if you want to move it, they will not. It will not be disconnected. See, it will not be disconnected. It moves from there because that end is fixed and it moves. Okay. Suppose you make the other end fixed. Suppose I want to fix this end. See, this end is fixed. Now you want to move it. Only this line will move, but this is fixed actually. only line will extend. See, I will make it. Suppose I want to move the entire picture, move. The lines will extend from that position, both the lines, but they will not change their position because the connection should be there always and it should be fixed. It should not leave the place from this position, it should not leave. Even you want to move this line, what happened? Let us see. It will extend because this position is fixed. It cannot be moved. So this is how we can operate when a constraint is applied. Suppose you want to delete the constraint, you like this. Oh, I will delete the constraint. Constraint, select constraint, and the line is not delete constraint. Now you can move the line. See, it is not connected, constraint is not applied, coincident constraint, so it can move. Similarly, the other line also. Okay. Suppose once again I apply geometrical constraint. We will talking about geometrical constraint, coincident constraint. So we have to select this. So now, suppose we want to move, we can move like this. The entire thing can move because that side is auto constraint. It is not auto constraint. This is constrained. Auto constraint. That is automatically constraint is applied to point or join. So we can move it like this. But since at that point only, this point also is there, it will move like this. This point is automatically fixed. Suppose we want to rotate. Suppose we want to rotate at this point. Let us see what is going on. It can rotate because the point is not changed. Fixed point means. Suppose I apply another constraint to this, say fixed constraint. At this point we fix it. And similarly, another constraint for the other line also is fixed. So now what is going to happen? Let us see. See, the line can rotate. If you see, you can see it will not move from the place. And similarly, this line also move. Suppose I command it, it will extend only. Okay. Same thing here. Here it can move this way because it is not line is not fixed yet. Let me see whether we can fix the line here. Fix the line. At this point we fix. This line is also fixed. That line is also fixed. This line is also fixed. So what is going to happen? Let us see. It won't move at all because the line position is fixed. And here, it will move because we are fixed at this position. Here we are fixed at this position. Okay. Suppose I fix this line on this position. Let us see whether what is going to happen. See, the red line will come, that shows it is fixed. So double fixed, both the position have been fixed. Here it is only one position. Suppose I want to fix the other line, the other position also. Let us see whether it is possible or not. See, it is already fixed. And so let us try to move this. Nothing happens. Even the other one, it will also move because both ends are fixed. Here also both ends are fixed. It will not move at all. So this is how we can apply the, see, This is fixed. This point is fixed. This line joining point is fixed, and this end is also fixed. So this line cannot move. This line cannot move. Cannot move. Now I will erase this. Now we have learned about geometrical constraint for parallel we have not learned horizontal, vertical we have learned this coincident. 1, horizontal, 2, 3, 4, 4 things we learned about. Now what we do is auto constraint means it's automatically applied, but anyway what we do is we will not worry much about other things to know which is confusion. I will select all the things. What is going to happen here if you select all things? First parallel will be applied, and after that any next collinear will be applied, then perpendicular, then coincident, like that. These things can move also up and down. Move up. So first we keep coincident. So, and if we apply all this is selected, tangent, everything is selected. So this constraint will be automatically applied, and selection will be there. Hence, we need not every time click here and click this point what you want to apply. It is automatically applied. That is here. There is not all the things. Some of the things, that is whatever mentioned in auto constraint. All these things, that is coincident, parallel, coincident, everything is applied automatically. I will show you that. Suppose I draw a triangle. See, you have applied here constraint, you have applied constraint here, you have applied constraint here. So because we have selected auto constraint, it is applied. Okay. And similarly, I will draw a perpendicular from this point, or say midpoint to join. Here also it is applied. Constraint is applied automatically. I have selected automatically, so it is applied automatically. And suppose I draw a perpendicular here. So here also it is applied perpendicular. The line is perpendicular, and also another is coincident. Both constraints are applied. There is how many constraints now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 constraints, all coincident constraints, and one is perpendicular and one is midpoint. Midpoint is also there. No, midpoint is not there, coincident only. Midpoint there is no constraint. So it is perpendicular, there is a constraint. Midpoint there is no constraint. It is because the coincident it joins the midpoint, that point it is applied. Now we will see, try to rotate this. Suppose I want to rotate this line. It can rotate it. But along with it, since the constraints are applied, all the other lines also will be rotated. So the constraint is maintained. Joining will be maintained, perpendicularity will be maintained, and midpoint joining is also maintained. So if we rotate it, this line we rotate it, and it moves along with it, all other lines also, because the constraint should be maintained. Suppose we move this. Let us see what is going to happen from this point. It moves, the entire thing will move. Suppose we rotate another line. See, this perpendicular line we rotate, let us see. And we rotate from this point 80 degrees, it's rotated. The entire thing will be rotated. So all the other lines will be constrained to move or rotate such that they are always related with the line which we have actuated. So relation will be maintained. Now we have maintained, we have coincident, perpendicular, parallel, tangent. We have to learn many other things. Perpendicular we have learned, and then we have to learn parallel. Let us see. We have drawn a line here, and another line somewhere here. We draw. Okay. Now here no constraint is applied because it has not taken any constrained positions. Suppose I simply draw a line, standard line, it automatically applied because as vertical constraint is there. it automatically applied. And another line like this, because this constraint is there and auto constraint, it will apply. But two lines separately drawn doesn't have any constraint, and so nothing is applied here. But now, from the geometrical constraint, we can apply the constraint. Suppose you want to make this line perpendicular, click on this, click on this, click on this. It become the first one become the base, the second one will be become the perpendicular. Okay, so this line is perpendicular. Suppose we want to apply a coincident. Let us see whether it's possible or not. Coincident. This. It becomes coincident. Coincident. Suppose I want to make this parallel. Let us see it, right? Result. The constraint cannot be applied. It conflicts the existing constraint. I would never be constrained the geometry. It means you have already applied a perpendicular constraint, and this line and this line has to be perpendicular, and a line cannot be perpendicular as well as parallel at the same time. So what we have to use, we have to delete one of the constraints. Then only it becomes, we can try to apply the parallel. Okay. Suppose we want to delete the constraint, let us say. So we can always delete any constraint. Constraint are deleted. Okay. Now we will see no constraint here also. Since there is no constraint, let us see. Rotate we will apply, and we will be able to see whether it can rotate. It can rotate. So no constraint is applied, and perpendicularity is also not there. Now we can make it parallel. Here perhaps it overlaps because it turns 90 degrees there itself. I will move this line, whether we can move this line or not, let us see. We can. Now we will apply parallel constraint. Well, let us see whether it is going to be parallel. Parallel. Select one line. See, it has become parallel. So these two lines are parallel. Okay. Suppose we want to apply a equal. That means the line length will be equal. Whatever will be the length, they will be equal. It has become equal. So these lines have become equal also. I will apply. Once again, I click this and remove it, and I will try to apply equal lines. Suppose we have a line like this, another line, a lengthy line, so you can see. So I will apply two constraints, parallel. First I will click on this and this parallel, and then I will apply equal. See, it has what it takes first, whichever I click first, it takes that as a base, and that it follows that. That means in the first I click this, its length it has registered in the memory, and when I click on this, its length increased to this length. Suppose I have clicked this, then this would have been shortened. So this is about constraint, but still some more things to be learned about constraint. I will deal with the next class.